Press.
Hey guys, welcome back to Press the Podcast. This is our third episode. We are so excited to have y'all back. Right, ladies? Right. Welcome. If this is your first time listening, please make sure that you like, subscribe, comment. We are on YouTube if you're watching us, or if you're listening to us, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, all the major platforms. So if this is your first time listening, welcome. We just wanted to say another thank you, as always, to all of our new listeners, our old listeners, our ride or dies. Thank y'all so much. We are creating a beautiful community. I'm just excited to be back at the table with my ladies. So, as always, we will start with a segment. So, again, if this is your first time listening, we have a segment called Sip and Spill. Miss Avina here at the end, our Vanna White.
Thank you guys again for joining us. For our new listeners, Sip and Spill is a segment that we do. It'll just jumpstart our show. We normally pull a question from the fishbowl. We ask that everybody text, email, DM us questions, topics, talking points that you guys would like to listen to. So let's dive into the first one.
This is always such an anxious moment. Like, we literally are like,
what are we
gonna
get? I know. Okay. So it says, name your top 3 podcasts that inspired you.
Ooh.
Okay. So I think for me, Amanda, what's her name? Small Doses. What's her name? Amanda. What's her last name? She's actually on The Reel right now, too.
Seals.
Seals. Okay, I was like, we were just talking about it. Okay, yeah. She has one called Small Doses, and she just always, even her Instagram, it's just so inspiring. She keeps me in the know of like so many things that I probably wouldn't even be paying attention to current event wise and everything else. And then the Link Up, of course, we've already talked about them. They're like 4 girlfriends. I think they all went to law school. No, 3. They all went to law school together, and they're super dope. They always have really cool guests and points and topics. And then Joe Budden, of course, because he's hilarious and his friends are hilarious and he's just dope.
I think Joe, well, you guys know Joe is my favorite podcast of all time.
She loves Joe. She loves Joe.
I love the podcast.
Joe, if you're watching, when you watch it.
Yes.
Shout
out on your show.
No, he's really dope. His whole crew, though, Rory, Maul, they're all really bomb. They're so unique. Like, they're all individual, and I love that about them, and it kind of reminds me a lot about us. My other one is, it's like a true crime story podcast, so Totally Left. But it's called Sword and Skill.
I was not.
And it's really good. It's an amazing podcast. They do such a good job. And then my third one will probably be The Read. They're
funny. They're good.
Hilarious. And their live shows are amazing.
Yeah, they're dope.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna pull one more just because I like to do these.
Oh Lord.
I know. Let's see. What does success mean to you? Success to me is, it's changed a little bit over the years. I think when I was younger, it was money driven. I think everybody's success is like money driven. But I swear, like at 30, 31, and now at 32, it's totally different. So success for me right now just means like doing the basics, like being consistent, going to the gym, which is like a couple doors down that I don't frequent that often.
She's been going though, y'all.
I've been going.
I'll catch her in the sauna.
Y'all catch me on my Instagram. Y'all will see me on my story when I'm in there. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly when I'm in there. But no, like little stuff like that, or like even like I don't have any children right now, but success to me would look like if I had children, raising great children, or unifying my family. Things like that are success for me. So I think that's.
I think mine's happiness. Like
Yours is food.
Okay.
You know what?
Success.
Rewind.
She tried to play you because she tried to say your success is driven by food.
When she said happiness, I know what makes her happy.
Makes me
food.
Happy.
One of me. If you ever want a brunch spot,
it's the number. It's probably after AJ.
If you after my bug,
after
if
her
you
baby,
want to win my heart, take me to go get fresh, homemade from scratch pasta, and you got it. Like,
literally.
But Bug is your ultimate brunch buddy, because she goes to brunch more than all of y'all.
But no, seriously, it's never been money driven. I feel like that no matter how much money you have, it's not that doesn't equate to your happiness. You can be the richest man in the world and still be so depressed,
So depressed.
Like I need to be happy all the way around, and that goes from my daughter, obviously, my friends, my family, and my career. Like I feel like if my life is out of balance on those 4, I'm not happy at all.
True.
So
facts.
I think for me, success would just be kind of beating all odds. So there's a lot of things in life that are always going to be thrown at you, but if you have the endurance to keep on going, that shows that you can withhold any type of trial and tribulation. So for me, every day doesn't look the same. Every 2 days, don't occur. And so for me, getting up every single day and choosing to put my best foot forward and choosing to say that, like, in this moment, I'm going to think positive thoughts so that positive things come is a success for me. So
Successful adulting.
yes. What she said,
I like
successful adulting.
I like that.
Step by step.
Right. Because, I mean, you can't figure out every single thing in 1 second. It's not going to happen.
Life would be so boring if you could.
Life would be different if it was like that.
I'm telling y'all, I have like a list of things that like I want to happen or that I want to like improve on. And sometimes it just doesn't happen, but I also have to say, like, okay, today you were successful at this. Like, you didn't do everything that you wanted to do or everything that you said you wanted to do in 2020 or however you categorized your life. But you did this. You went to the gym, or you woke up and you did your first 15. You prayed, you read your Bible, and, you wrote a list of things you wanted to do. So, I mean, just taking it step by step, I think that was good, Gabi.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I hate to kind of shift it, but I think that we couldn't really do this episode without kind of diving into what happened on Sunday, which was Kobe's death. And so I kind of just wanted to start with one of his quotes that I found to be kind of resonated with me. And it simply said, the most important thing is to try and to inspire people so they can be great at whatever they want to do. And so, like I said, Kobe was not only a legend on the court, but he was also a legend off the court. He was a businessman, he was an investor, and he also coached several different athletes, including his daughter and their team. And so for me, when it happened, I know Tosha and I were together, but Tosha, kind of explain like what that moment was when we had got the call that he had passed away. Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, so on a not so serious tip, I was at her house. We were getting ready for life group. It was on, of course, a Sunday, and I got there a little bit earlier. And so we're actually planning an event, which we'll talk about later and on our social media and such. Woo! But we're planning an event, so me and her are kind of, heading that. So we were talking about that. We were on a roll, who's going to be invited, things like that. And our friend from church, Zuri, shout out to Zuri.
Shout out Zuri.
Yeah, we had just got off the phone with her, and we were like, we're about to, get off the phone so that we can finish planning our thing. And she called us right back on FaceTime, and we were like, man, like,
why are
you interrupting? First of all, we love you, Zuri. It's not like you're annoying us, I promise. But you know how you are, right? And so when you called and we were like, dang, like we're in the middle of something, like, what's up,
Right.
And she was like, Kobe died. And we both were like, stop playing, like,
right.
No, seriously, which I think is a shock, is like probably the first thing I remember. Yeah, like when my dad died, shock was like, nah, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kobe who? Like, how many Kobes do you know? I know, whatever. But that's how we found out, and we were just literally stunned. Like, we just kind of sat there. We called a couple of people. I called my best friend because her child's father is madly in love with the Lakers and Kobe. Like, he is his everything. And so she was the first person I thought of. I was like, hey, can you call him and just make sure he's okay?
Seriously?
Because I knew exactly how much of an impact he had made, whether he met him or not. I think he possibly could have, maybe, I don't know, but just being a role model for him and, just loving basketball and things like that. I knew that he would be hugely impacted. So I just immediately got on my phone. She called her dad. We just kind of
it was like a
took
shock
it in.
effect.
It was a shock. For sure.
And like my eyes instantly got watery because
and you called Spike.
Oh yeah, and I called Spike because it was just like, it's almost one of those things that's like, sometimes when you hear about people, it's almost as if you take them like they're untouchable, and so hearing that Kobe died, it was like one of the things like, and it would never happen. Like, obviously I know that death comes, but it's like when I heard that it was Kobe, I was like my body was just like shocked because I'm originally from California. So, I've only grown up loving Kobe and loved the way he plays the game of, basketball. So when I heard that he was no longer with us, obviously I had so many initial questions and I couldn't process it fast enough because I felt like everything was hitting me with a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
And for him to like not ever come into my life, never speak into my life, but him to have so much,
like instantly your eyes started to well, and I'm like, are you okay? Like, I was like, because I know who he is and stuff like that, but I wasn't as impacted, not because it's not a life. That's the part I thought about after the shock. I was like, just thinking about like my close people, and if like one day like they just are no longer here. That's what I thought about his family. That was before we even found out,
all the details.
Yeah, all the details about everybody that, like I immediately thought about him as a person, him as a soul, him as like just not ever going to be able to be that huge smile. That's
Yes.
like one of the things that I thought about as well. Like, so that part after the shock was.
I think it's so amazing that
sadness.
so many people have never met him or never
Correct.
seen him, but
Isn't that
his
crazy?
presence
That's
is
crazy.
that strong, and
That's crazy.
his like the way he's affected people and just kind of
Yes.
changed their lives. You don't necessarily have to know somebody for that to happen, but it's kind of amazing that him not even being present like really affects.
And
a
that
lot
was
of
evidence
things.
in this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and even like just a step further, I'll let you how it affect you Ari next. But even a step further, like Tosha and I had to take ourselves out of it. Like, yes, it was Kobe and that was traumatic, but really thinking like, think about all the people that die every single day. And Tasha was like, someone
Crazy.
just died this
Right
second.
now.
Like
Yeah.
someone, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And it's like, wow. Like
Yeah.
it just made, and I felt like it
it
was
made
like
a pause. It
yeah,
like made
it's
us
a
like
dark cloud over the whole world. Like it was like I was in my slump.
it was reality. It was reality. I mean, it was the reality of like how short our lives really are. I mean, the Bible says
I
it,
hate
like
that.
it's literally like a whisper in the wind. Like it's
Mhm.
literally like
I hate that death has to make your whole world stop for you to realize, oh, I need to do better.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I
Sense of
need to
urgency.
call
people.
I need to make sure
Girl.
it shouldn't be, death should not make our world stop. Like, and that shouldn't be the only reason that you stop and think like, hey, I need to do this, or I need to reach
Right.
out to these people, or I need to forgive more. That should not be the only time that you think about that.
I agree.
I think another thing that was cool, I think it was Shannon Sharp, is that his last name? He's an ESPN guy.
Yeah.
He said, we watched Kobe grow up. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? So I think
Especially
that was
our
another
generation.
thing. Yeah, we
Yes.
watched him grow up. So we watched him, succeed in his basketball career. We watched him become a husband. We watched him become a father. So even though we weren't there,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We were there. So
Absolutely.
we watched him do all those things, and we watched him
Yeah.
thrive in those things. So I think that that's another reason that, we were hurt and whatever. But I think, where was I when I found out? I was upstairs in my room because Sunday for me was terrible. It was just a mess. My great aunt passed away that morning, and I was like, oh my God. I remember calling Tosha. I was
Yeah.
like, my heart, just even for my dad. When stuff like that happens, I think you grieve for your parents too. So that happened, and then the Kobe thing was just like another hit. I was like, dang, calling my brothers, checking on my brothers, making sure they were straight, because my brothers are sports fanatics, and just seeing where their mind was, or where their mental was. And then later that evening, my really, really, really good friend passed away in a car wreck. So I'm not going to talk about it that much because I will start crying on here.
that's okay.
But if you hear at the beginning when it says press, and it has like the little DJ scratches and stuff,
Our master
he did
drop.
that for us in 5 minutes. We were all freaking out at a meeting, and they were like,
Shout
they're
out
gonna,
DJ Starr.
yeah, they were like, they're gonna cut y'all sound out, or what? What did Aunt tell us? They're gonna cut y'all sound out. Y'all can't.
Oh, he
use
said
press.
that we're not going to be
Yeah.
able to air on
we
YouTube.
were like, oh no. So I'm like, oh my God. And they said, well, we need the DJ scratch sound. So I thought about it, and I was like, oh, DJ Starr. We called him. He literally did it in 5 minutes.
On
made
the
the little.
spot. He was
He
real
dropped
sweet
what
about
he
it.
was doing.
He dropped everything he was doing.
Yeah, and us three ladies right here are semi-bossy, and so we were like, "No, can you do this? Can you switch this? Can you?" And he was just
you add
boom,
20
boom,
more
boom, boom, boom,
seconds?
boom, and
I
it
need a
was
little more.
perfect. It was perfect. So yes, shout out to DJ
him.
Starr
We
and like
Bless him and love
yes,
him.
his family.
We're
our
forever praying for
condolence.
them.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
So yeah, I think that's how my Sunday went. I was with my dad, I think, when I found out. So that was even like more of a hit. He was like, Kobe, they're saying that Kobe died. And I was like, no, like I'm just
Right.
walking down the stairs like normal, like, oh, they tripping, TMZ, whatever.
Yeah.
That was another thing that Vanessa found out from
reported it first.
TMZ. I was like, oh no, y'all.
He did a
Y'all are
interview
tripping.
and said that he had
I
got
did see
confirmation
that.
from Kobe Bryant's family
His
to
camp
go
is
ahead.
what he
yeah,
said.
his
He said
camp
he
to
had
put
talked
it
to
out.
him
said
for like
TMZ said that.
yeah.
They did an interview
Harvey.
and said
Okay.
that.
Yeah, well, he said that he had
I didn't
talked
see
to
that.
his
Wait, who?
family or his camp an hour prior to it being publicized to make sure that it. So basically, he was covering his
hopefully
bases.
that's the
I
case.
hope that was the case, and that
But
it
that's
wasn't.
really
that.
a lie. I don't
I don't
think
know.
that that's
I don't know
too
how
true
quick that-
because all the information that they've really
right.
whatever,
Yeah, I don't know how
but
true that
still.
is, Harvey.
Because why
but
would they say that she heard it from there
I
first
mean,
if that was the case?
it's like not even that. That's fine if you got confirmation for his family, but what about the other families that were on board? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like you
'Cause
didn't.
they
you
knew
didn't
that they
connect
were-
with them,
yeah.
and that should never happen. So.
But
Yeah.
I mean, to their defense, that's their business. Number one, as far as that's their business, and then
Yeah.
number two, I think he said it on that video, the same video that, like, you know, he knew how big of a story it was going to be. And if it wasn't him, it was going to be someone else.
I know.
I mean, you know, the person who recorded it, who sits there and records a plane falling, you know, or anything like that. All of it is bad. All of it is really bad, and just the way that they, you know, everything was handled. But how else would we have gotten the information?
The fact that someone's life is a story is just like,
right.
You know what I mean? It's always going to be sad.
When you live that big, I mean,
it's really technology, like aside from everything.
Information.
It is. It travels at the speed of light. So it's like, in the instance that we didn't have, you know, the internet and stuff like that, when would we have found out that Kobe died? How long would that have taken that to get to us, you know? And it's like,
it's crazy.
It's like a blessing and a curse. Like, thank goodness we have the internet so they can, you know, report this type of information. But we do oftentimes run into the risk of stuff not being factual, stuff being exposed so quickly without remembering everyone that it's going to be
super
affecting,
insensitive.
you know? And I think about myself, like, if someone on my family was on that plane, I can't say that I would be comfortable with them announcing it so quick, but again, it's like inhumane. I don't know what the line is. Like,
when would you feel comfortable?
How? What does that look like? So I don't know. I'm glad that's not my line of business.
But I think also too, even I understand that that's their job and somebody would have reported it too. But like, to your point, Gabi, think about if that was your family, like you, it's almost inhumane for you to do that. Like that, we're still humans, you know what I mean? And everybody still has emotions and feelings, and you have to respect that at some point, like at least for a couple of hours, like just initially, you know what I mean? Like I feel like the police and the investigations, like, just let them get a handle first before you like throw it out there. But apparently he got his information from somebody on the PD. So it's just things like that. Like, this is really sad.
Just corrupt. Yeah.
The fact that it's a business.
Industry. That industry has always been.
It's nitty gritty. Yeah.
But the sad thing is that we are the people who fuel it. You know, like people who watch, you know, reality TV or TMZ. No shade to TMZ. We're just talking about you because you reported that or whatever. But information is dangerous sometimes. Dangerous and insensitive.
Question, Ari, just like based on Kobe's legacy and you being the youngest press lady, has that like triggered anything for you to kind of think about your legacy and what you're gonna leave behind?
Yeah, I think so. Well, no. I know so. Because that and a mixture of that and DJ Starr, I think a lot of times we associate death with age, and they don't go together, you know what I mean? So I just thought about the legacy that Kobe lived, and the life that Kobe lived, and the life that Starr lived, and the legacy that both of them left. And they were just it was just crazy to me, you know. Both of them were living and doing what they were passionate about. Kobe was playing basketball. Starr was like a crazy amazing DJ who had been in the game for years and almost doing more and living more so in their passion than people that were 80 and passed away, you know. So that touched my heart, and I'm like, dang, like, when you have a purpose on this earth, you know, and you have things that you want to do and that we want to strive to do every day, like, it's really just about you being the best you, kind of how Gabi said, like, every day waking up and just, you know, being successful by your own merit. So I think that was something that it drove me to think about, just like, what if it was me that had passed away, what would people think and be saying about me? Because what you hear about Starr is, so supportive, so kind, so genuine. You know, when you go and look at the posts, like, that's how people are remembering him. That's the legacy that people want to live out and do in his honor, you know, for his daughter to see, you know, for his sons to see. That's what they want to do. And, you know, with Kobe, he was a great father. He was a great coach. He was all of these great things. And it's like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you know, and that makes me want to grind, you know, that it, almost not money, not, you know, job, not occupation, just who I am to the world.
Being a good person.
Yeah, who my soul is, you know, just being a good person and letting my legacy be.
This baby right here, she is a good person. Like,
hands down.
She is going to make sure, like, we even had this conversation because we were talking to another one of our guy friends who lives in New York, and she had called him or whatever and, you know, updated him on everything that was happening with her. And he had just appreciated her for just being a kind friend and, like, always remembering to call him and, like, you know, check on him, make sure he's okay. And she does that. She will pick up that phone and she will call you. And that's what we were talking about, is, like, making sure that people know that they're loved. Like, make sure that you are seen, you know, in my life. And just taking that quick moment. I always, before it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pray for that person, or oh, I'm gonna call that person. But no, now I just like, as soon as something pops in my head, I'm like, oh, let me text that person right now.
Yeah.
Stop what I'm doing, because there's a reason, why. And I always think about, as far as with grief and death and stuff like that, when people get ready to die, like what their last moments were, not in a creepy way. Like I wouldn't want to just like know what they were doing or how they were was driving or the plane. I did think about that a little bit, just like what were they going through their heads, or were they praying, were they trying to comfort the children on the helicopter and things like that. Like I immediately thought about that too, because it's like in those last moments, like, did you know, did you tell, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's very interesting. Death is very interesting.
I'd like to think that Gianna was very comforted.
I'd
like to think that she felt like my daddy's arms are around me, and that's all I need, and for him, I think, it's so awesome that he's such an amazing father, like him, the way he is as a parent is incredible.
Crazy and incredible,
he just, he passed away doing what he loves. He was being a dad. He was on his way to coach a tournament for them, and with his daughter, with his up and coming legacy, with his up and coming star. And I just think that's so incredible for him to, if he passed away any kind of way, he passed away doing what he loves.
Absolutely.
That's good.
That's sweet.
That's a good point.
That is very, very sweet. I love that.
Yeah, but for me, my heart really goes out to Vanessa, and her having to raise those 3 babies, and Natalia and Bianca and Capri, like they're so adorable. They're so
cute.
All amazing kids, like
Gorgeous.
she's having to bring up the rest of his legacy. Because to me, as a parent, I feel like most parents, they really, really strongly feel that their kids are their legacy. You do so much, you spend so much money, you put so much time, so much effort into them. And that's what he was doing. Like he was finally able to spend all of his off season, to spend all of his free time, like just making the most moments of that. And I did also read this article stating that he had like put in papers and applied for her nickname to be copyrighted and for that to be hers, and her nickname was like Mamacita, but I just think that's so cool. Like imagine your dad doing something like that for you,
Like
and
dad of the year stuff.
that's amazing, and I was
a girl dad, seriously.
Such a girl dad.
I love that hashtag.
It's so cute.
I literally
I love
love
that. I love that.
It's
I'll be
sweet
looking
to
at it
see
all
that.
day, scrolling like, oh my god, y'all are so cute. Did y'all see the guy in the tutu? I know this is all.
Oh yes.
Trampoline.
I can't remember.
With the trampoline.
Yeah,
on the
with the
trampoline
2
with
little
that tree.
girls.
He had his, if y'all haven't seen it, it's so
sweet.
cute. He's jumping on the
So
trampoline. He has on a ballerina full-fledged
The whole
tutu
The whole
outfit,
ensemble.
with his dad, with
tie-up
his
shoes,
kids,
everything.
and they have theirs
And they
on, and
loved
they are
it.
jumping and they are dancing with their dad, and it is like
It's
girl
so
dad
precious.
goals,
It's
like
really
so
is.
cute,
amazing.
and my man better. Wherever he
I'm
at.
glad we speak. I'm glad that that's something now. I'm glad that's a positive, uplifting thing.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to stay that way.
And my only thing, like when things like this happen, is that like just like social media or reality shows or whatever, or like TMZ, the next story is gonna come on and people are gonna like forget, like have amnesia about like this strong impact that they were just thinking about, or when you were just saying like all the things that flooded into your mind about what you're doing in your personal life. And it's just like I wish there was a way to kind of keep that on our radar without having to be so morbid about it. Death always does, bring that shock to our lives. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's what community is for. I guess that's just what your family is for. God constantly.
Certain events, though,
grateful.
They hit you a little bit harder. Certain events, you're like they kind of change you, even though they don't. They don't closely make a very, very close impact to you, but they do kind of change you. Like, I was in California when that happened, and we were actually, the time changed because we're obviously from Dallas. And we were in California. I woke up at 4:00 every morning over there because I'm so used to waking up early here. And we were there, and we drove that morning to the beach because we were just going to go and like beat the sun up on the beach. So we got to the beach at 6:30 and the fog was so heavy. Like we were so scared to drive.
Wow.
And like when we got back to the hotel, we had got a text message to turn on the news, and we turned on the news, and I was like, no, like, don't believe that. That might be a hoax. It may not, it may not be anything.
Yeah. I told myself 3 times.
I did too.
I told myself
and then
I was like, no, this is
research.
And my mom was like,
really found out who was on there.
My mom was just like saying, she was like, it's probably like the fog. And I was like, yeah, you might be right. But we left LA, and I've never seen a city so still. And it just warms my heart that he's made that kind of an impact on a city and a state.
Ain't that crazy? That's crazy.
One person.
That's love.
Yeah.
That's love.
So, Avina, you having a child, like, what do you what kind of legacy are you leaving for her so that, she looks up to you every day? Bug is, like, constantly, taking in information from you. So, like, either what are you going to do going forward to make sure that, you are showing her, displaying her what your legacy is, or helping her either create her own legacy?
Yeah.
She's small, but
she
now.
Yeah,
she's big.
Very much so.
She's small,
she's big.
For me, I have to really, again, it's like the day in and day out, what you do on an everyday basis, and I make sure that we prioritize certain things. What we eat is a priority. That's big for me. She's things like that, health, being active, fitness, her grades, there's certain things that I make sure are priorities in our lives that we don't lose sight of, because it's very easy to. And I'm trying to do my best to create like the most incredible human being so that she can create her own legacy.
Success.
Because I want her. Thank you. Yes. I love how humble she is, you know what I mean? And a part of me thinks it takes great people to raise great people.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know what I mean? You can't think that you're gonna be like, give 50 and then your little ones are gonna turn out 100. You can't think that. And as kids, they model what we do.
Absolutely.
As humans, people model what we do. So I just try my best to make sure that she's the most incredible person that she can be by just making sure I'm doing the right thing day in and day out. And I want that to be a part of my legacy. I want me to be a good person, showing people how to, treat other people, because my thing is, when people think about me, I want them to feel good. I don't want them to have like an eerie feeling or just kind of be like, she was all right, but
I don't want no buts when I leave this house.
Right.
No,
don't butt me. Like,
good
just
things only.
Good things only. And I think that's why I always try to like smile. Like I smile a lot, and if I don't, it's my face like too. I look mad. So I try to make sure that I smile as much as I can, because that's something that I always want people to think about. Like when they think about Avina, it's like, man, she always had a big old smile on her face.
Man, because I could not.
Do y'all see that smile? That's
because I could not wipe. I couldn't wipe any of the people that passed on Sunday. I couldn't wipe any of their smiles out of my face. That's part of the reason I was like struggling so hard. Every single smile, I was like, dang, like I got that smile in my. Forever.
I think that releases endorphins in you. When you see somebody smile, that just makes you happy.
Especially when it's a genuine smile. Not one of those little weird smiles. Like the
little smirk.
Not the smirk.
Flight attendant is the one that they like, I'm at work, but how you doing?
This
welcome.
Is a fake smile. I have to do this.
Right. Okay.
Alrighty. Well,
what about you, Tosh?
I'm going to shift the atmosphere a little bit more. Look, I feel like I have to kind of share because my dad died almost 5 years ago. And so immediately, like, of course, like I said, I think that's probably why I didn't really think so much about like who he was, but just like that he was no longer here, because that's kind of how I think about my dad. I do think about who he was and who he was to me and things like that. But it really hit home because it just brought up that whole memory of like Vanessa and all them finding out and being in shock, like it just brought that back to me. And so I'm kind of thinking about regrets and things that like I didn't say to my dad, or like maybe, what if they would have gotten a fight or something before he left, or like, things like that happen every day. And I'm not just talking about Kobe, but anybody who dies, like things that like you didn't make right with a person or things like that. And I think about that with my dad, and although there are many things that I probably could regret, because my dad, for those of you who don't know, like he was on drugs for over 20 years. And so majority of my life was a struggle of just trying to be seen by him, because he was so addicted to drugs and in and out of my life and things like that. And of course, I was a true daddy's girl. I'm his oldest, and only girl. So I know that there was an attachment there. I know there was some shame and some guilt there, which is why he stayed away as well. But so I regret like not having those years of my life, but I do cherish like the last maybe 4 or 5 years, because I literally actively had to like pursue him, even though he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't always right. He was sober at this time, but he just didn't even know how to repair the relationship. So it just made me think of things that I could regret, and then things that I can't regret, because one of the last times that I saw him, he was here in Dallas for my brother's baby shower, baby Dan, and he never liked my hair any type of way other than like when I had just regular, I had long hair, wrap hair. Girls, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Very childish, very not Tosh.
Very not me. Very boring, very basic. But anyway, I would change my hair. My best friend's a hairstylist. I would change my hair all the time, quick weaves, color, all kind of stuff. He never liked my hair. This particular day, I had y'all fire red bob hair. Like it was the most probably extreme hair outside of like the blonde like pixie cut thing that I did one year for my birthday. And I don't even know if that was before or after. But anyway, and he loved it. He kept saying, loved it. He was like, he kept coming up to me at the baby shower saying, I love your hair. I love. That's why I said I thought about, do they know or something? Because the conversations that I had with him prior to him passing, after he passed, it kind of made sense, So that was number one. I thought was weird. And then when I got back to his hotel, he kept talking to me. I was showing him all my Patty Maxine stuff. I used to make clothing. I had a brand called Patty Maxine, which is
so talented.
What else? Patty is his mom, so it's half of him. So I was pulling out all this stuff, like, look at all this new fabric. His wife had brought me fabric from Nebraska, and we were kind of just going through it. And he was like, "Yeah, build that empire." And I just kept telling him, "Yep, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that, Dad. I'm gonna build an empire." So his smile, his laugh, and that build an empire thing are like etched in my mind and in my heart. And I think that's why I go so hard the way that I do, just even trying to figure out the thing that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life or what my purpose is. But that's one thing I do not regret, is the time that I, tried to make up for the time that was.
Probably going to have to get the red bob back to like.
I might. Y'all don't know. I don't know.
You know what's crazy? Like that's when I think of you, I just think about your work ethic. Like your work ethic is insane to me. It's like when you think about your friend group, there is always like someone who you can't really count on them to get it done, and then other people you're like, oh, she's the nice one, and other ones you're just but Tasha's the one
the ones that's like,
she's the one that'll get it done. Give her a task and it'll be done. And I think that's so amazing. Like that's who she is as a person. So
I tell Tasha all the time, like, I'm the one that like gets frantic and like freaks out, and Tasha be like, "Child, it's gonna get done."
I'm ready to roll.
Okay, let's go. I'm like, but Tasha,
she never freaks out.
No, like, you didn't even plan it. Like, child, I ain't gonna stress it because it's gonna get done. I'm like, I'm the one that's trying to figure it out for the both of us. And Tasha's like, listen, it's gonna
work out.
Like,
I don't think I've ever seen her just super pressed. No. Like it's always like, okay, or she'll pause for a second and then she'll get right back on.
I'm thinking about it. No,
but that was, I think, a lot of people, I think you said, she had sent us some facts about, death and grief and stuff like that. And it said like 90% of people list grief as a frequently expressed emotion or emotion that they feel a lot, right next to love. And y'all know how much we oversaturate using that word.
Exactly.
So, like regrets are huge when people die. It's immediately what you think about, what you didn't say, why didn't you do, why didn't I call, everything just floods your mind. And I just think that people need to not only use those regrets as memories or checkpoints of like, oh, I need to do this better, I need to call this person, I need to make sure I treat people better just in general, but also fuel to this legacy thing. If you are going to regret something because you didn't do it, you might want to get to doing it, because you never know. Like she said, age does not matter, death does not care. When it's your time, it's your time. So
you can only harp on your regrets for so long, because then you don't want that to be the only emotion that you have.
Regrets suppress those good memories.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And you want those good memories and those happy memories to come alive every single time you think about said situation or said individual, you know. But I think that's so amazing those are the 3 things that trigger in your head and that you just replay all the time. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's learned behavior. Trust me. It is learned behavior. And I mean too, because I was close to my dad, loved him, you know, especially towards the end. Like I said, we repaired our relationship, but it's definitely going to hit different when someone else in my family, you know. So I can't say that I got it all together. I can say that right now on this podcast and let something that. I don't know. I'm not speaking that into existence. But it just depends. It's person to person. It's how that person impacted you. You know, not even so much what you impacted on that person or what you did for that person, but how they impacted you.
And you realize a different kind of way when they're gone.
And Mama, you're doing just fine. Like, everybody's grieving process is a different process. And that it's just that. It's a process. So whatever you got to do, whatever works for you, you know, whatever touches you, that's what you do.
Ooh, because I be crying.
Same. And I think, like, for me, when it comes to regret, I would rather have regret for trying something and it didn't work and have regret for never trying something. You know what I mean? Like, I can stomach the thought, like, okay, I tried it and it didn't work. But me to constantly think of something that I never even tried to test to see if my capacity could reach that far.
That's good.
And me just staying in this moment and not trusting myself and trusting God that is like, we're going to figure it out one way or another. And it's okay. Like, there's healing on the other side of something not working out.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Like,
that is good.
It's okay. And I don't want to be like insensitive to the people who were also lives were lost on the flight. I know that we have dabbled in a lot with Kobe. And so I wanted to kind of touch on 2 passengers that were actually on the flight. Please forgive my pronunciation if I do pronounce their last name wrong. But one person, you know, I don't want to pronounce it wrong.
Right.
One person is John Altobelli. The president of Orange Coast College said that he was a legend. He was a giant on campus and he loved his students. And then the second person was Sarah Chestnut. Her brother George said that she was the one that everyone counted on. She was there for everyone. She was everything to her family, to our family. Anytime I needed her, she was always there. And so it's like, yes, Kobe is the person that we're pretty much talking on the most, but it's like, I'm not going to be insensitive to the other passengers that were on the plane. You know, no one's life is more important than the other person. We're just talking about Kobe because we know his name. His name is resonated in our hearts. We can hear it, you know.
Yeah,
but
we felt some type of connection. Yeah.
But again, the people that died on their plane, the other families that are affected,
they had impact.
They had impact too. I can't say that they feel worse than someone else, and so I just definitely wanted to take the time out to touch on them and also touch on what their community and their loved ones had said great things about them. And I know that the process isn't easy for them, and I know that their process doesn't look like anyone else's process. So I want to just kind of challenge everyone to be sensitive to them, sensitive to their family. And a thing that kind of like made me touch me a little bit, like and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I hated the fact that Vanessa felt like she had to break her silence on her social media. I was going to say
that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was on edge because her page was private for a very long time. And you know, I hate that she felt like she had to break her silence to go ahead and post something. Like, I don't know what it looks like to grieve someone that I've lost, because knock on wood, going on 28 years, I've never lost anybody in my whole entire family. So I don't know what that looks like grieving, but I would hate that I would have to take a moment, press pause from grieving, get on my social media and have this like time to post because I'm in this such
public life,
you know? Like I hate that for her. And
I think she feels obligated as his wife and him having such a strong presence and such
we should have been fine either way.
Hands down.
You know?
I mean, I agree with you 1,000%. I'm just saying, I feel like she probably felt obligated, like the city is mourning over him, his fans, you know, the mayor, the GM of the Lakers, you know, all of these people are putting out statements that have spent time with her while she was grieving. You know, I think she just obviously as his wife felt obligated, but she shouldn't have had to.
Like, we could have been fine
to, though. I mean, I guess I just feel like if it was me in her shoes, I don't know what I would do, but I would like to think that I probably would have done the same thing personally, just because I feel like my man probably would have toughed it out and done it for his fans or the people that were reaching out to him. Or I almost feel like it was a courtesy to us more than it was. Like, oh, y'all are checking on me so hard. Y'all are trying to make sure that I'm straight. I want to tell you thank you. You know, like, this is me telling you thank you. I mean, as far as like, as for how soon she did it or how, I feel like she did what she wanted to do. Exactly. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason that I don't feel like, you know, she had to do anything, because she still waited a couple of days. She could have did it You know what I mean? Or I don't know how many days. I can't remember how many days, but she could have did it that second. You know what I mean? But she didn't. She took the time, to me personally, that she needed. And then she addressed what she wanted to address. I mean, nobody put a gun to her head.
Yeah,
and made her
she was just being thankful for everybody's support.
That's how I looked at it.
But
as a thank you.
I understand what you're saying, though, Gabby. Like, she shouldn't have to stop what she's doing for social media.
You know, it's social media. Like, we could have been content either or, post or not. We can only imagine which. If she would have never posted, I wouldn't have looked at her any different.
Right.
But I am. I am encouraged, and I feel like some sense of like wow for her, because her page is no longer private. She's allowing everybody to see the pictures and see the videos of Kobe and Gigi, and again, that's like
those are intimate moments for her.
Really she's giving that to us. She doesn't have to. She could have kept her page private and continued to just keep those moments to herself, but she's giving so much to us, and
that's big.
That's huge.
In your sorrow,
you know, like,
and you're still
you're not burying
another thing
person.
that kind of bothered me was how they asked so many NBA players like how they felt. Like, what the hell do you mean? How do you think I feel? Like, why are you asking all 10, 25 of us the same question? I don't understand that. And it's like,
but that's for the people, once again. You know what I mean?
I don't get that, though.
But you know that's for the people and the fans, once again.
Forget
us. It's just another
us.
media. You know, forgive us.
Serious.
But that's exactly what it is. You know, that's for the fans of Tracy McGrady, for the fans of, you know, LeBron or whoever else they ask. That's for those people. You know, how does my faith feel about it? And that's just because we're obsessed with that as a community culture, whatever we want to call ourselves.
Right.
That's what we're obsessed with. That's what's in right now. The media, they don't care how much it has to exploit. And those people that are in those spots, positions, they were ready for it. They knew the question was coming. Yeah. They knew that they knew that what they, if they didn't want to answer the question, they wouldn't answer the question.
I just hate when you ask me like an obvious question to like, where the point where I almost feel like it's dumb.
I feel like they ask them obvious questions.
I hate
because
that.
we're sensitive right now. We don't like that they asked it about Kobe in general. You know what I'm saying? But if you go and look at interviews, they're asking stupid questions the whole time. And they're asking questions. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do the whole time. They're asking questions.
I don't know how they do it, because I'd be like, can we start over? I don't want to answer that.
I don't want to answer that. Yeah.
I just sat there and said no.
Right.
And that's why some artists and people don't answer. You know, they're like, I don't even want to be on your show. I don't want to do none of that because I don't want to answer questions.
I understand, you know.
So, I mean, for this whole episode, we did touch on Kobe. We touched on what grieving looked like for all of us and the ways in which we do grieve and areas in which we have experienced grief in our own lives and what we are purposely trying to do in regards to leaving a legacy. And I guess, like, to kind of give, like, a takeaway, for me, I would just say, let's just really be intentional with our interactions, with our time, and being proactive about really figuring out what your purpose is about and what brings you joy that you could do every single day, and that you can leave a seed so that it can grow. And even if you do get to see the plant grow, and if you don't, you're content with it.
Yeah.
And you're leaving a legacy for so many more people than just the people that you think are watching you. You know, that you know are watching you. Like, when I look at, like, I watch myself around Bug. You know what I mean? Bug's not my child. Like, Bug's not, I mean, she's my baby. She's my birthday twin. I love her just as much as her mama does. But, you know, I'm not obligated to do anything for Bug.
Right.
But I don't curse around Bug. You know what I mean? I watch what I say. I'm respectful around her. I make sure that I'm making responsible decisions around her, just because I know someone's watching. Yeah. And it's not always, you know, Avina's kids. It's not, even in the restaurant. I mean, right now I wait tables. So, I mean, someone's always watching you. So just like Avina said, you try to smile, you know, you try to be a light, because you never know what someone needs to see, and it could be in you, you know?
And you never know what other people's days are looking like, or what they're going through. You could really change someone's whole dynamic of their day by just saying, hey, thank you, like, I appreciate you so much, or hey, I hope you have a good day, enjoy the rest of your day, or just simply asking how people's day are. When I go out in public, when I go to a restaurant, when I go to a grocery store, a coffee shop, anything, I love when people make small talk to me. Like, I adore that.
I love it too.
Make small talk to me, because I feel like you're a good person.
I love a small talk. A very small talk. Don't try to drag it out.
First of all.
But it's
this baby has never met a stranger, because I literally took her to New York one time, and those people that I was talking about, the people that I was talking about that told her, you know, I appreciate you for being a good friend.
It's me.
Literally. like calls them more than I do, and they're my friends.
Yeah,
like
just
she
check on
will,
them.
like she's just.
I know when Ari
Get you
calls,
an Ari.
when she calls, our conversations are going to be a little lengthy.
Long.
Yeah, you gotta screen
And
it.
she
out.
wants to know all the details. What are you doing? Where are you going? Oh, okay. Who is
Why?
that?
What
Why?
for
What's
what?
And
she
if
wants
she's
to
not
know,
invited,
and she's
she's just
genuinely
gonna pause.
interested. She don't
Wait a
care,
minute.
you know.
Yes.
Because it must be a date.
Right. No,
It must be a date.
if you don't invite her right off the back, she'll pause for a second, like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go back to doing A, B, and C that I was doing.
Or she'll be like, I just tracked your location. I see you right here. So I'm about to pull up. Like,
I'm about to pull up.
You know what turns off location?
Right.
They don't turn it off though. They want me to pull up so bad.
Listen,
They want me
it's
to pull up
a
so
thing.
bad.
Like, if God allows it to happen, like, you are a part of 4 generations. You're just single self. Like, do you
Yeah.
understand how like crazy that is?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say when you said planting the seeds that you may not see watered. And somebody, Bree, shout out to Bree, posted that on our Instagram because I just said, what does legacy mean to you? And she said, planting seeds that you may not see grow. And I think, like I said at the beginning with my success, like what I feel like success is for me, like I have really literally shifted my mindset because I am an ambitious person. I'm an achiever. I want to, and like I said, success is money for most people. It's for me who don't want to be, wealthy. Yeah. But like I have to literally stop and say, hey, what I'm doing right now, I may not see the fruits of my labor, but my children or my children's children, that has to be enough, where I can say that, okay, Tosha, I'm not going to run myself crazy. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to be present. I'm going to call people. I'm going to make sure I have a balanced life. I go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to be healthy enough to be here in order to raise great children and have a more unified family. Or if there's things in your family you want to change, like it starts with you. Or like I said with Bug, like Bug is what, about to be
so God, she's 7.
It starts with her. Her legacy has already begun. And so I just think that people need to not only, have amnesia about tragic events like this and like how it affects you in the moment, but like really take that to heart and like change your life. Is going to be step by step, like sis said,
and enjoy every phase.
Be
enjoy
present.
Your 20s.
Be present.
Like go crazy. Do what you want in your 20s. In your 30s,
be present.
Enjoy your 30s. Be wild at your 40s. Like enjoy every phase of your life. Like
enjoy life.
I know. When my daughter has kids, I want my grandkids to be like, she's a bomb ass grandma.
Right.
Yes.
I love my grandma.
I want to be a
Like,
fashion
so cool.
Like, I
niece.
want to be their friend, like so bad. So
I don't
hard.
want to be their friend.
No,
but
I am.
I want to be a
friend.
bomb ass grandma. Like I want
Friend.
to enjoy every phase of my life, and I never want to stop doing that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and even for us, like I'm excited for like where our life takes us. Like there's gonna be a time where like we're gonna get married, we're gonna have kids, more kids. You know, like
No,
it's gonna be exciting. Avina. She said no.
She said she's not having any more.
absolutely not.
Whatever.
You're watching and you like Avina.
Right.
Don't plan to have any
She's
kids.
playing. She's just kidding.
But lastly, this is my last point. I promise y'all. Another good way to think about your legacy is that you need to work on healing yourself from past damage and past pain, because those things keep you planted and don't allow you to take the next step.
That sound like you.
That's
tough.
tough.
Got a little
Listen,
word on your spirit.
I'm
Sound like you got a little.
I'm just
brewing.
saying.
I think that you can grow in one part of your life, but be stagnant and not grow in another part of your life.
Yes.
Like we each all grow in different aspects. Like Gabi is like, she's one of the most successful women that like when she's like she's just in her career and she's a boss. Like she's what I can just think of when I think about a boss woman, and she's so good in that part of her life, in that aspect of her life, but obviously she has other parts that she wants to grow in, you know what I mean? And we all grow in different areas of our lives, you know what I mean? We can, like I said, we can definitely much so be stagnant and be still in one part, but then grow in another. I think you want to balance that though.
Gabi's definitely a boss though.
She
y'all.
is.
But what are you growing in?
Y'all, Gabi's
What
a
are you
boss.
growing
Wait,
in?
let's talk about this. Y'all, even today, I'm just thinking about in the car today, I was talking to my friend, and she said, Gabi is just goals. We were not talking about Gabi. She's met Gabi one time for my birthday in Houston, and like, that's even like legacy. Like, if Gabi was to leave today, well, she better not. But
I can't.
that's what people think of her.
That one interaction.
That's what people think of her. And it's multiple
Yeah.
girls that came for my birthday, and they're like, I just want to be like Gabi. Gabi probably said 10 words to those people. You know what I mean?
Say
But
that many
it's how
at all.
she, you know
She
what I mean?
Beyonce
It's how
them.
she, it's how
Hi.
she carries herself. It's how sweet she is. It's her vibe. It's her person. They don't know what Gabi does for a living. They had to ask me. And I told them. But
She's amazing.
Yeah, you know, she's amazing.
Don't make me cry.
Yeah, but
That's lit.
that is. But I'm just saying,
it's,
like,
do you
that's
know how,
good.
like, sweet it is to hear people like talk about stuff that you think in your head that you want people to think of you, but when you hear people say and it's reflecting outwards, it's like, I'm doing a good job.
I meant to tell you that
First
too.
of all, I can chill because like most times when I'm in my head, I think I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
But when y'all say the stuff that y'all just said about me earlier, and I'm glad that everybody kind of got a little bit to say about each other because like we truly do love each other and we truly are friends.
Yeah.
But like when people say stuff about you, you just like, okay, I can breathe a little bit better because I don't need to
this is who
strive
I am.
and do.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I wanted to do anyway.
Putting in the work.
Yeah.
Let's just put it on the record. If they weren't as amazing as they currently are today, we wouldn't talk to any of them. Like I would not know Gabi. I wouldn't know Tosha. I wouldn't know Ari.
That's true.
I'd have different friends.
Right?
A different
Here she
podcast.
goes.
A different podcast.
A different podcast. She could never.
No.
She could never.
But I love it though. I mean, we kind of all have our own niche. We're all leaving our own little legacy, and we're all so successful at our own little things, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And we just challenge everyone else to leave a legacy.
I was just gonna say, what are y'all's legacies? Like, let
Correct.
us know. Like, make sure that y'all like comment, text us, DM us, send us a story, anything like that. We want to hear from you guys. We are definitely, like always, wanting to listen and just converse with you guys. And if there's something that you have to share about grief or mental health or anything like that as it pertains to like death and how you grieve and stuff like that, I think that that's super, super, super important that we share that and just become a bigger community of people who leave little glitter impact on people. Like just sprinkle a little bit of impact and legacy every time you get up. So
Gabi, y'all touched on something that y'all were texting about earlier. Our event.
It's even on the agenda.
It was not on the agenda. We got it.
But we're gonna bring it up.
Okay. You want to talk about it or you want me to talk about it?
And tell us what y'all think too.
I mean, I gotta say all the details. Look,
Okay.
now we so nervous. We love talking about it, but now we all
Just give it a little taste.
Okay,
We gotta have a
so
taste.
I'll let her do it.
we are going to be throwing an event sometime in March. So mark your calendar. It's probably going to be the first week of March. The date is not solidified, but basically the name of the event is going to be called Wingman.
Yes.
So how it kind of works is each person that attends this event will need to be single and bring someone of the opposite sex.
Hold on, one more time. What was that?
Single.
What was the word?
They need to be single, not in a
Single.
situation shit.
Not in a situation.
Available.
Not in a fake relationship.
Correct.
You need to be honed
Single.
in one time single.
Yes,
Single.
and so we have to bring someone of the opposite sex. So if
Not
I
your
was going
boyfriend,
to this
not your
event,
friend.
I would bring Chase with me, who's one of my guy friends. Shout out Chase. And we're both single. And so we would go to this event and we would go ahead and say, for instance, I saw someone across the room that I was like, dang, like, he kind of cute or whatever, I can allow Chase to help me assist by him being my wingman and go over there and approach the guy to say like, hey, my friend is, feeling you.
This is gonna be so
This is
fun.
gonna be
I
so
know.
fun.
Now, in the instance, your wingman just is an A1 day one.
Because some people.
We have a part B, which is you're allowed to send a secret drink over across the room. Now, there's levels to the drink. First drink is like,
When is there not?
I see you.
I see you.
Second drink is like, I'm coming for you. Third drink is like, I'm at your door. And so
I'm
like
pulling up.
it's
I'm
gonna be a
knocking.
cute little thing. It's like speed date remix, like
Yeah,
2020.
we're gonna play games. It's gonna be good music,
press
good
the podcast.
vibes.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is about being single and meeting people,
Correct.
and hopefully we do make some
Having
love
fun.
connections. If we do
Yes.
make a love connection, we will be sponsoring their first date. So
To Chili's.
To cheddar.
No,
Anything
No,
to
seriously,
CH?
we are so excited about this. So we're gonna give y'all more information,
Yes.
but we want to just
Be
kind of
looking
mention
out for
since
Super
since we
40
did.
on me.
And Avina, I know you wanted to kind of wrap it
Oh.
up with the
Oh, I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, most definitely. Okay, so we want to leave you guys with just one last thing to kind of, honor Kobe and his family. If you'd like to make a philanthropic donation, please just visit the Kobe and Vanessa Family Foundation website, and that's KV as in Victor, BFF.org. Again, that's KVBFF.org. And that goes to his family and all of the other families that were affected, and they'll just kind of disperse that money But it's really for a good cause, guys. And I'm pretty sure that obviously his family is taken care of, but we just need to also think about the other families that were involved too. So.
And a lot of that money is probably going to go to his foundations
and his foundations,
programs and stuff like that, because he was, in so many different things. So.
Yeah.
And his Mamba Foundation, like I don't know if a lot of people know, but where his daughter played basketball was at the court and the academy, the basketball academy that he kind of built and he founded. So a lot of that goes back into it, and him pouring back into his passion, pouring back into his legacy. And he was a big sponsor of the WNBA, and I think that's so amazing. So
super dope.
Awesome. Well, we will put all those links down in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. I think we could put those also in some comments or something on podcasts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Avina is our AV person. She gets us together with that. But so we'll put all those at the bottom of these links, and then just make sure that you, again, like, subscribe, comment. We're going to be coming out with the 4th episode. We're so excited. Make sure if y'all have any topics or people that you guys, hopefully we can have a guest on next month sometime in February.
I believe we will.
I think we will. I think we should. I think it's time. I think we just need to spice it up a little bit. But if you guys have other podcasts y'all want us to collaborate with, or brand that you guys would like to collaborate with or know more about, because we've got in contact with a couple of people who might be sponsoring our Sip and Spill. So we're always open to, sharing the wealth and just making sure that we're expanding our community and including everybody who takes the time out to watch us. And we just thank y'all so much.
We appreciate y'all.
All right.
Until next time.
Press is signing off.
Bye.
Press, 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 press.